Everyone. Welcome. My name is Jamie Love, and today I have the pleasure and honor of going live with Wanda. She's in my Ageless Beauty Collective group, and I'm so inspired by her raw vegan journey. She just made the decision to go raw, and we're going to find out how long she's been raw, but she's very, very inspiring to me, and she's been leading some EFT, I forgot what it's called, the tapping. So she's been leading that inside of our group, and she's going to lead one at the end for Food Cravings. So let's just get her on, and then, hi, Wanda. Okay, let me see. Are you there? Oh, there you are.
Hey.
Hi. Hi, Wanda. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. So, Wanda, I'm just sharing a little bit that you're in the Ageless Beauty group, and we've been kind of growing closer, you know.
Yes.
I absolutely adore Wanda. She is the sweetest woman I've ever met. She does the work on herself, and she's just such a pure light being, and I'm so honored to know her. So, Wanda, okay, so tell me more because you're so inspiring. Tell me more about your healing journey with like raw foods. First of all, how long have you been eating raw now? Raw vegan?
I've been eating raw vegan over 7.5 years.
7.5 years.
Yeah,
And now you said that you went cold turkey, like you just made the decision and overnight and never looked back.
that is correct.
Wow. What made you want to, you weren't always vegan, right? You were eating the standard American diet?
I grew up eating basically donuts for breakfast, Doritos, Fruit Loops, the most unhealthy diet you can imagine. So I grew up on pure sugar. My mother was a baker. So there was cakes everywhere. Many times I came home from school and my sister and I would take a 12-inch cake that's full of, that really rich Crisco frosting and
Wow.
cut the cake in half. And I would eat half of the cake, a whole cake, and my sister would eat a whole half too.
Oh, that sounds a lot like what I did before I went raw. That's so funny. Um,
Very fatty
so
diet. My
were you
mother used to make
overweight?
me, it's just in my genes that I tend not to be overweight. So it was
Uh,
never really an issue with me. So since it wasn't an issue, uh, people looked at me like, oh, well, you can eat whatever you want and it doesn't matter. Well, it did matter because it took a toll on my health. All those double cheeseburgers and strawberry shakes and all those things. I mean, I used to go to Burger King almost every day. And yeah, eventually it took its toll.
what
I
kind of
just
health
didn't.
problems? Yeah, what kind of health problems did you experience?
The first time that I noticed that I was having some uncomfortable health issues was really when I was like in kindergarten, first grade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I noticed that everybody else was calm and feeling like they looked like they were all feeling good, and I wasn't because I was shaking uncontrollably from hypoglycemia and
Oh, wow.
feeling like I was in emergency mode. And I would look around and I wonder, why do, why don't other people look like they're going through what I'm going through? So inside, I was feeling different already, like something was wrong with me.
So you started with blood sugar issues.
Yes.
Okay. And did that seem to get worse? Were you like onset to have diabetes as you grew up?
Well, when I was a teenager, I went to my doctor when I was in high school complaining about these blood sugar issues. Every time I ate pasta, pizza, and all the sweets, I would have terrible blood sugar issues. And I was on a quest to figure out why. Why do I feel like sometimes I felt like I was comatose? I would go into these sugar highs and lows, and I would literally feel like I was drugged and like I was trapped in my own body. And I went to an acupuncturist and actually asked for help um, because the regular doctors weren't able to figure anything out that was making sense. So I figure maybe the acupuncturist would be able to help me with this. And literally, after I had my kids, it got so out of control that my kids would be waiting by the door for us to leave to go out to the supermarket or to the mall, wherever we needed to go. And I had to get my sugar under control before I could step out of the house because I didn't know what was going to happen if I stepped outside of the house and my sugar wasn't under control. And I was borderline diabetic, um, between borderline diabetic and severe hypoglycemia. I was referred to an endocrinologist, and every time I walked in there, oh, you just need orange juice to get it under control. And but they weren't really getting to the root of why this was happening. Nobody was really telling me why. I figured there had to be a reason why I was having all this. And one thing led to the other, and I was taking some herbs from my acupuncturist. And because I'm so sensitive, I was allergic to some of the herbs that he was giving me. And that was my first experience with going blind.
Oh, wow.
So
This is from this is from blood sugar issues? You lost your eyesight?
I believe
Or from the
so.
herbs or what?
I well, it was probably a combination. Um, all I was told when I went to the emergency room is you have an eye occlusion. We have to refer you out to a specialist. And then the specialist gave me a steroid injection in the eye. I had 2 steroid injections in the eye to get it under control. They said it was severely inflamed. They called it an eye occlusion back then in 2009. And then years later, I had other episodes of the same type of thing happening, but this was without having an allergic reaction to herbs. So that
Okay.
time they said, "What are you taking?" And I showed them the bottle of what I was taking, and they said, "You're allergic to this. Stop this right now." And the herbs happen to be mushrooms, so I'm allergic to all mushrooms. And so I stopped it, and a couple months later, I got taken by ambulance to the emergency room for having severe muscle spasms going up and down my spine. Severe spondylitis, they called it. So it was like an inflammation going from my neck all the way down my spine. Uh, and at that point, I got out of the hospital on a walker and had to relearn how to walk. Went
Wow.
to
And
physical
this was what, before this was 10 years ago or what?
2009.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, many
Okay.
years ago. Eventually, it took months and of physical therapy, And while I was taking physical therapy, I was on high dose steroids
And
to
you hadn't
decrease.
changed your diet yet at this point. You were still
No,
eating the same. Okay, wow. And you had no correlation that what you were experiencing had anything to do with the food you were putting in your body because you never gained weight. You would eat whatever you want and never gained weight, so you think it wasn't having any sort of effect on you.
yes.
Okay, wow.
I was led to believe that I needed to be on a very high fat diet because of the fact that I couldn't seem to put on any weight. So I was
I see.
told by my acupuncturist mainly that I was seeing, it's like you need a lot of fat and a lot of protein and a lot of meat. And if I were you, I would stay away from all fruits because your body can't tolerate any sugars right now.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, no fruit. To me, it was like, ooh, wow.
So how did you go from a doctor telling you no fruit to being fruitarian? Because you're mostly fruitarian, correct?
Well, I went fruitarian for 3 years.
Okay, how did you break the cognitive dissonance to believe that you could eat fruit without your blood sugar spiking?
Well, that was after several bouts of going blind and being sick and tired of the same merry-go-round of steroid injections in my eyes and having no answers. And then my rheumatologist telling me that I needed Humira, and which is a chemotherapy type of drug to shut down your immune system so that
Mm.
the inflammation won't kill you. Because my inflammation was up to 50 when
So this was
they,
like a life or death situation. This was
yes,
getting really bad. Okay.
yes. So at that point, and after spending thousands of dollars and going to the Dominican Republic for IV treatments and just so much running here, running there, looking for answers and finding none. And the rheumatologist telling me that I needed to come in for 4 hours a day to be hooked up to an IV um, to receive this medicine that was like gonna take over my immune system. That didn't feel like the right path for me. I didn't feel peace with that. So I said, no, I just don't feel like this is the path for me. I said, you know what? I'll think about it, but I don't feel that that's where I need to go right now. I'll think about it. Is what I told her, and I went home and prayed about it. Um, I, I am a Christian, and I went home and prayed and fasted and asked God. I said, well, um, you know, God is going to give me an answer to what I should do because the doctors haven't had any answers for me, and I've been sick since 2009. So I said, I'm at this point, I'm going to go to my creator and ask, and I'm going to receive an answer. So I did a water fast and I said, I'm going to sit here as long as it takes till I get an answer. I'm going to receive an answer to why this is happening. Um, my body knows like something is hurting my body and creating all this ease, and I'm gonna, sit here and wait until I figure out why, what's really happening here. And I had a feeling that it had maybe something to do with my diet, and I didn't know what else to do. So I said, I'm blind, I have little kids to take care of, and I don't have time to travel and get myself to 45 minutes away for this therapy for 4 hours a day. Who's going to watch my kids? I have no family here in North Carolina. So I said, well, I'm seeking from God, my creator. And 4 days later, it came to me. So it came by divine revelation, basically, that I was supposed to go on a raw vegan diet. That I
And
was,
you had never heard about it before. It just like came to you. You didn't even know what raw foods were. Like,
oh,
that's insane. So something just said eat whole food, plant-based, in its rawest, purest form. Or
yes,
God did. Yes, this divine message came to you.
yes.
Wow.
After 4 days of water fasting, because I refused to eat anything else until I received an answer.
Wow. So you got this while you were fasting. Oh, fasting and praying. The answer came to you. That's
Yes,
incredible. Wow. How did you feel on that? Was that the first time you did a 4-day water fast?
first time ever.
And how did you feel on that water fast?
Um,
Did your health start to improve by stopping the food going in? Did your body start to detox at all? Did you have any symptoms?
I felt somehow less
Okay.
pain, less like the inflammation was more subdued, but I was more like numb because I was in the spirit. I don't know if you
Mm,
understand that, but when you're in the presence of the spirit, you're not fully here on earth. So I
right.
felt like I was between dimensions is what I felt.
Mhm. Wow. Wow.
So I felt
So,
I was in and out, not really here anyways.
okay, so you have a family that you're cooking for. You still have holidays. You still have to make food for your family. You've got little kids. You've got tempting things in the house, but you got this message to go raw. You had no idea. You had no support, no one around you, no community. You didn't know anything about it. You hadn't seen any videos or read any books. What did you do? Like, you must have been so confused of how to start this new journey.
I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I didn't know what a raw vegan diet was. So at that point I said, okay. And I was living mostly from food pantries because I had lost my job because I went blind during my last job.
All processed foods?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So at food pantries, it's kind of hard to navigate a raw diet
What
as
do
much
you
as
mean when
go
you say pantry? Like,
where you go for
like,
free food.
oh, I got you. I got you. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
I got you. Wow. So you were just eating whatever they gave you
Yes,
and you weren't even making your own food. Okay. Oh my gosh. So you got two small kids. You have to take care of them. You had nobody to help you. You went blind. You can't even make your own food. And you had this idea to go raw, not sure how to do it, how to make it,
yeah.
what you're going to do. Okay, this is like a huge turning point in your life, and it must have been very emotional for you. It must have been very emotional for your family, the whole transition as well, like this whole process.
I would say I was more like this is a decision that I've already said yes to and I'm not turning back. Like no matter what anybody said to me, the conviction and my understanding was so strong that I was not going to turn back because I had to try this because this was the only thing that I hadn't tried.
You'd reached your breaking point. You were rock bottom,
Yeah,
right? You
yeah,
had no choice.
yeah.
It's not like, oh, let me just dabble in raw foods and I don't have any health problems. That was me really. I didn't really have many health problems. That's kind of why I yo-yoed back and forth so much. But when you have a life or death situation and you're blind and they want to put injections of steroids in your eyes, that's a good enough reason to never want to go back to the standard American diet.
Yes, that and the fact that I was having constant gallbladder attacks. I couldn't even lay down in bed because of the gallbladder attacks that were going on all throughout the night, waking up in the middle of the night, puking my brains out, being on numbing medications to numb myself because I was in such extreme pain, having like an extreme inflammation in my left foot going on, where my foot was just purple, blue, and purple and severely swollen. And um, with having to be on anti-inflammatories, and I was just seeking something different.
So did you go right to fruit right from the start?
Yes. So I said,
Yes.
okay, I need to find out what a raw vegan diet
Regardless of, yeah,
is.
regardless of what the doctor said, you're like, I'm still gonna just go to just fruit. Okay. And who
Yes.
did you find when you researched the raw vegan diet? Was it fully raw Christina, Doug
So,
Graham, like who?
no, I found Dr. Morse.
Oh, Dr. Morse. Okay, okay.
Dr.
Gotcha.
Morse was talking about you don't need to go on a grape fast. So I said,
Oh,
go
and
for
that.
it. I'm going on a grape fast.
Wow. How long did you do a grape fast for?
So I kept doing grape fasting over and over. 90 days would go by and I'd be like, I feel good. I'm starting over. Inflammation has gone down and I could feel like I felt so energized and it was just like I, I don't know, this overwhelming peace. I had peace with it. Like an overwhelming peace that I hadn't felt before.
Wow.
I mean, I was on eating meats 6 times a day to control hypoglycemia. Suddenly, hypoglycemia was feeling better. I'm like, I don't know, I'm just feeling better.
So
That's all I can say.
you felt better on fruit for your hypoglycemia than you did
Y-
eating meat.
Yes, I felt
Okay.
like it was more under control somehow. I felt like it was
And
helping.
emotionally, you felt lighter in your body, like your mental state, your
Yes.
spiritual, you felt closer to God, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I definitely
You
felt
can't go
close.
back after you experience that,
I
right? It's so like
know.
sometimes, and I know you've been very strong on this, but sometimes we go back and people wonder why we strive so strongly and so hard to go back to eating raw or to be fully raw when we mess up or have mistakes on this diet, this lifestyle. And people don't understand. They're like, well, why continue eating raw if it's hard? Because you don't know how great it feels unless you've tried it. You don't know like how amazing you feel. Like it's like you are realizing your full expression as a human being, as a spiritual being. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, I just felt closer to spirit and I felt more peace in my body. And it wasn't long before people started to notice that something was different, that I was losing more weight because I was never overweight. My maximum was always 115. So
Mm.
now people are like, whoa, you are looking really skinny.
Like too skinny, like unhealthy skinny.
After after about a year, yeah, I looked like a stick.
Okay, so were people giving you a hard time saying that what you're doing was bad for you? Oh, I'm sure you heard every comment,
People
every
turned
judgment.
against me, talking about me behind my back.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Oh
like
my
asking
gosh.
my husband, "Is she okay? What's
Wow.
what's wrong with her? Has she lost her marbles? What is
But
she
you
doing
felt
to
great.
herself?"
But you felt amazing.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. And all your health conditions started going away. So it's so interesting of how we judge the body types, especially people shame you for being thin. But it's like,
yes,
what if we were meant to be thin? Like what if the body is meant to, just not carry all this inflammation and extra weight, because fat is really just holding on to the toxins to prevent it from getting to your organs. Like we hold on to all these toxins and excess water weight and everything, so that kind of falls away when you clean the body out.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because nowadays you have tabloids and social media, and they're all, bigger is better, and plus size models is now like a thing. It's like a standard thing where I go into the stores now. There's no more thin mannequins. They're all medium to bigger build.
it's
To
very
big,
hard to find clothes these days that
right,
actually
right.
fit me.
So, okay, well that's amazing. And so now it's been over 7.5 years,
So,
you said, of eating raw.
yes, I did have some setbacks on this journey. It wasn't a straight line that was flawless. Um, I did get into some trouble um, with not knowing how to navigate in and out of fasting, going in and out of fruit fasting and establishing more strengthening type of foods. So I feel that there has to be balance between
Mm,
fruits and vegetables.
mhm.
And that's something that I learned as I went along. I got into a situation where I had been raw fruitarian for just about 3 years when all of a sudden I had a healing crisis and I couldn't walk again. I woke up one day and I was in the middle of um, a very deep detox with taking many herbs. And I was introduced to glandulars and I had an accident. I did not know that glandulars were actually animal products.
Mm.
And that led to me, after a couple of weeks of taking that, waking up one day and not being able to walk again.
I have no idea what glandulars are, but you're saying you had a reaction to the animal protein? Was it you think the
I
protein in
don't
the
know if
animal?
it's an animal protein, but glandulars are basically glands that they take from animals and they put it in capsules and that are supposed to strengthen your endocrine glands.
Oh my gosh.
And that
Oh
was
my.
a mistake for me
So we
because,
think that if we eat the body part of another creature, that it's going to strengthen the body part within us.
yes,
Oh,
and this
that's
was
so
given to
weird.
me, and
Oh,
this
that's
was given
so
to
weird.
me by someone who professes to be a raw foodist.
Wow,
So I found that to be,
that's
a
really.
wounding, just like many health practitioners call themselves alternative practitioners. Oh, I'm in the healing arts, but then you promote animal products?
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's funny. I'll tell you, I was at yoga the other day, and this woman was telling me her business. She's selling some kind of collagen supplement, and she's like, yeah, it's all it like boosts your collagen. I was like looking at it, and I couldn't see what it was made of, and I was like, is it vegan? And she goes, yeah, it's vegan. And I was like, really? Vegan collagen? Like, because they don't make vegan collagen. It comes from animals. And she's like, yeah. She goes, it's made from the scales of fish. So technically we can say it's vegan because it's not made from anything on the the inside of the fish. And I was like, I'm good, but thanks. The funny thing is I've never eaten meat. So I'm a little biased with when it comes to people eating animals because I didn't, it never made sense to me. I had a very, very strong aversion. So when someone's telling me like I need to eat meat or something, it's very hard for me to connect with them and to understand and sympathize with them because I've never eaten it. I've never eaten
Mm.
it. I had fish sometimes on occasion, but it wasn't fed to me all the time. My family, it was like a special occasion thing. It was the only thing that I could stomach, and I wouldn't even like the actual fish. It was more, I think I had like shrimp and crab legs and things like that. But other than that, never was a meat eater. So it's like it doesn't make any sense to me to eat it. It's so weird. I don't know. I am a little judgmental when it comes to that because it just doesn't make it like it doesn't register in my brain to eat another living being. It sounds so barbaric to me. But anyways,
Uh,
go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
I was a heavy meat eater most of my life because, I grew up that way. My my family mainly comes from the Dominican Republic, and it's a lot of fried foods, and there are
Oh.
some, rice, beans, and a lot of fried foods, and a whole lot of meats.
So
And
you went for health reasons. You never went, raw vegan for like ethical reasons. Are you ethical vegan now, or is it still really just for health reasons?
I understand it now after after being in another frequency of energy because I grew up around a certain consciousness.
Hmm.
I had to leave that consciousness and say, no, I'm leaving my family, and I had to separate myself from my family in order to really come to know where I needed to go. I had to detach.
Yeah, so for me, because I never liked the taste of meat, I never really, when I went vegan, it was because my aunt got cancer. So, like, I didn't know that vegan was like an animal rights movement. We just did it for health reasons in my family, but it wasn't until years later that I started to learn about factory farming and things like that. But for many years, it didn't bother me at all that people ate animals because I didn't eat it. So I grew up with watching people eat meat my whole life. I just didn't, I was like, well, I just don't like it. I just don't like the taste of it. And it's like kind of gross, I didn't like, I would actually throw up if I tried to eat it. So that was really interesting to, I forgot the point that I was saying, but anyways, yeah. Um,
So I had this, I did have an accident, and
mhm.
the problem with I was on a walker. Friends from church. Suddenly, I needed help from my kids to get to the bathroom. That's how bad it was.
From
The
the
system
from the
from the
glandulars.
glandulars.
Okay.
Yes. And at this point, I had to seek help from allopathy again because I had found myself in a situation that was uh, pretty bad, that I couldn't even walk to the bathroom to take myself to the bathroom. And I needed people to get my food, and I couldn't do anything. I was helpless again. And a friend from church came and brought me a walker, and another friend came and took me to the eye doctor because I had broken out into a full body rash at the same time as losing my ability to walk.
Wow.
All the my blood vessels couldn't hang on to the liquid anymore because I was so swollen. My legs were so swollen that I couldn't even bend my legs.
Oh my gosh. So this was
Um,
after the great fast, but then you took the glandular and had an allergic reaction to this.
yes,
That's
and
crazy.
was
Okay.
working with a detox specialist. I won't say
Wow.
which one, but I was working directly with the detox specialist who recommended these glandulars for me, and doing fruit fasting, and it was a disaster. And
Gee.
lost my ability to walk again, lost my independence.
How,
So,
how long did it take you to bounce back from this?
so at that point, I had to go find out why my legs were leaking water all over the floor, and like my body wasn't holding on to the liquids anymore.
And what was it coming out of your skin? You were
Yes.
sweating or what?
Yes, my skin was leaking out water
Like sweat,
profusely.
like just
It,
constant sweating almost?
yes,
Oh,
constant sweating.
oh
And
my
I'm a person who
gosh.
never sweats. So,
Wow.
and I had a full body rash. At the same time, I had gashes everywhere, all over my legs.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, how do I find myself in this place again? This was in 2020. I
So
went,
you had to like start over almost.
yes. So at
Wow.
this point, I
So
went
this
to the
was 10.
doctors
Yeah,
and
okay.
found out that I had hypoalbuminemia, which means your albumin is so low, your protein levels are so low in your body. So it was a 1. Um, it's supposed to be about a 5. And my blood vessels weren't holding water anymore. And they said, you can die in about 2 days from this if
Oh
you
my
don't take
gosh.
this seriously. They said, you're going to die unless you get protein in you.
What kind of protein were they
I
saying?
said,
Animal protein?
okay. They tried to tell me that I needed the animal proteins. I said, not doing it. No, not going there.
So what did you do?
I said, I'm raw vegan. And they said, okay, well, we have to figure out a way to get protein in you. And
Okay.
I said, okay, yeah, I'm all ears. And they brought in a counselor and people trying to help me to figure out what type of protein my body would accept. So finally, I started making my smoothies with pea protein. And
Did that
and
work? It helped?
they said you need to add more vegetables to your diet too. So I started adding in more green smoothies, and I did add in some friends and family were bringing in steamed vegetables for me. And so, since I was on steroids at this point, and I was on a lot of medication to try and bring down the inflammation again, I agreed to have some steamed vegetables, some steamed zucchini and steamed veggies, basically, with my smoothies and just fruits. And adding the pea protein, and I eventually took about 3 weeks. Eventually, the inflammation let up, and I was able to get myself walking again.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was my experience with glandulars. Stay away from them; they're bad news.
Oh wow. Wow.
You know, um,
So
so
now, yeah, go ahead.
nobody can ever convince me to take any animal product ever again after that.
Wow. Wow. And
So,
what is your diet like now?
um, well, let's see. From being fruitarian, I went by the end of that year, 2020. was around the time of the pandemic also. And I kept getting, it was a very sickly year because there was a lot of colds and flus going around, and one thing led to the other. My immune system went down because I was on antibiotics and steroids at that point to get me back on my feet. And I eventually had to wean myself off of the steroids and antibiotics. And then by December of 2020, I was blind again, and I didn't know why. So I said, my husband's like, so you're going to go to the eye doctor and get another eye injection? I said, no, I'm not. I'm handling this myself. And I went into prayer, and I received the message that I was to do an extended juice fast. So I did a 120-day juice fast, and that was my first juice fast.
Wow. Wow. That's
I,
incredible.
my eyesight came back about third
Wow.
week.
Wow. Amazing. Now, when you say blind, you were fully blind or
I was
just like
partially, like,
partial?
nothing made sense in my right eye. Nothing was really legible. So basically, I just covered it up because it was bothering me more to try and look through it and open my eye. So I just kept it shut and kept juicing. I said that
Wow.
the juices are gonna do it.
Wow.
I'm sure of it. I had
What
no,
kind of juices were you drinking? Was it green juices?
I started with lemon ginger blast. So
Did you do the mucoid plaque? Did you do that? Get the mucoid plaque out, or you just drank juice?
not till a month later did I venture into that. Once I regained my eyesight and I decided that I was going to keep going, then I investigated, I saw the ad for the Raw Vegan Heroes, and I signed up for Shane Sterling's. I was curious about using the husk and clay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I And another thing is I had been working with somebody else who was coaching me on what types of juices and figuring out how many calories I needed. And but I still had that curiosity in my head. What about this husk and clay? Maybe that will help the process along to expedite things. So alongside working with someone else, I worked along with the program of the Raw Vegan Heroes with the husk and clay, and I introduced that in. But honestly, for me, my body was too sensitive for the husk and clay. Every time I
So,
took it,
yeah.
I
So
ended
you had no
up,
mucoid plaque coming out?
I didn't see any mucoid plaque.
Okay.
Um, Probably because I had already been raw and just on fruits for 3 years. That's a possibility. I mean, I had a condition called spastic colon, so like everything just would just go right through me. So things didn't stay long in me, put it that way. So at this point, I was extremely, extremely underweight. When I started my juice cleanse, I was 78 pounds. I
Oh,
had,
wow.
when I was doing the grape fasting, I had gone down to 72 pounds, was my
Wow.
lowest. And so, then I built myself up with those steamed vegetables and the heavy doses of banana smoothies, banana cherry smoothies with the pea protein, and then ended up having to go into the juice cleanse because that's where the Lord led me. That's what He put in my heart, and I was like, okay, Lord, if you want me to do this, you're going to provide me with people who are going to show me how to do a juice cleanse because I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Wow.
And the Lord provided. I said, okay,
Mm,
I have peace with it then. He provided, literally provided angels for me.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And how did you feel after the 120-day juice fast?
All the inflammation in my legs disappeared. I was like a new person. Now, with that glandular accident, I had lost 90% of my hair. My
Oh
hair,
my God. Oh my
yes,
God. And your hair grew back?
yes.
What?
I
Wow. That gives me
almost had
hope.
no hair on my
I'm trying to
head.
get my hair to grow in thick right now. That's what I'm
I didn't
working
have
on.
any eyebrows. At that point, I didn't have any eyebrows on me. I didn't have any hair.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh my gosh.
So I did 120 days and I was feeling like a new person, like a new person.
Wow.
All the
You got your
inflammation
sight back, all the inflammation was gone, you
was
were walking
gone.
again, you had community of people. What did your people around you say when you healed your eyesight after this?
They didn't really say much. They were just like, she's in her own world. We have to
Oh
just
wow,
let
I
her be.
know. That's the interesting thing. Like when you're on this journey of health and healing and detoxing and raw foods, it's
Yeah,
like we really are in our own world, because we're so focused on self-care, and that's like, people ask me like, what do you? If somebody asks me what I do for fun, it's like sitting home by myself, meditating on a juice fast or water fasting, and then like laying out in the sun barefoot at the park. That's what I do, you know?
I did a lot of grounding when I was doing my juice cleanse. I was led to always get up early and go ground myself. Me and my daughter would wake up, go drop off my husband so we can keep the car and go to the trail immediately after. And I did a whole lot of grounding and just grounding and receiving messages like sometimes I would smell things that used to be in my past, in my past
Hmm.
experience, things
Hmm.
like foods that were cooking and that weren't physically here. Other times I would receive juice recipes in my sleep. So the whole juice cleanse was like a meditation, like a meditative type of state where I
Wow.
would receive recipes and wake up the next day and make the recipes. I had very vivid dreams of this one particular dream where the oranges, the smell, the fragrance of oranges was so strong and basil. I'm like, wow.
I
I was
do
like,
feel like, yeah.
it
I do feel
was
like
so,
it's easier to remember your dreams when you're cleansing, right? When you're eating super
yes,
light and clean, you have more lucid dreams.
that
Yeah.
they're very vivid and the
Mm.
fragrances of the herbs were just so strong that I would wake up and still smell them, and I'd have to go make this amazing juice that I saw in my dream.
Yeah.
So I would be making recipes from the dream state.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. Well, speaking of like grounding and things, you want to get into like a little bit of how you found tapping and what that did for you, and you just say what it is. So not everybody knows what the tapping is. So it's
So
EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. That's
technique.
what it stands for. Okay.
Yes. So I've been practicing emotional freedom technique since going raw. Really, is when um, I did venture into it before, but I really pretty much depended on it uh, when I went on this raw vegan journey because I needed to keep my focus, and
Hmm.
it helped me to stay focused. and it helped me to get off of my pain medications because I was determined to get myself off the steroids and the anti-inflammatory pain medications that I was on.
Mhm.
And so I used that to help myself to let go of those things and to let go of many indoctrinations where I was indoctrinated that I had to do certain things. And, I had to do a lot of emotional work because also a year into me going raw vegan, my me and my kids went to take care of my father in Rhode Island, which he was suffering from some health issues, and we had to go take care of him. And then in December of 2018, I had to go to Rhode Island and bury my father. So, so during that time, I had to do a lot of EFT. That's when that's when I learned that this is a really useful tool for helping people, and that um, you can overcome things with pretty much just using energy medicine.
So it's tapping on meridian points, correct?
Yes.
And you can, it helps to rewire the limiting beliefs or just the beliefs and thoughts that we have currently. I'm
It
sorry to hear
helps.
about your father too. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
No.
It helps to shift energy. It helps to shift emotions. And that's what I basically used it for because I had a lot of trials, and the one that was actually the most traumatized by this whole experience was actually my husband that was called over to the doctor's office to be questioned, and I didn't know that that was going to happen to him.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's where EFT really helped me to keep my sanity when
Wow.
everybody was against me.
Yeah.
So um
You are
yeah,
a strong woman, Wanda. You're a strong, strong woman.
because
I admire you.
I was accused of being of having an eating disorder. My husband was being questioned, saying, "Well, we want to know if she eats. We want to know why she's having the issues that she's having." And
Mhm.
all he could say is, "She just won't eat." But he meant to say, "She just won't eat cooked food, regular food,
Mhm.
like everybody else eats," because I was eating, just not cooked food,
Wow.
just not what everybody
They
else
don't
told me to
understand.
eat.
Yeah, they just don't understand.
Yeah, but I knew that this was the way for me.
And through
So,
all of that, you stayed raw. You
yes,
stayed strong in your conviction of this is what I'm doing. This is what's going to heal me. And you use
yes,
tapping for cravings, food cravings. Am I right?
yes.
Okay.
So,
Wanda's going to lead us through a tapping session for if you guys want to follow along, find a comfortable place. And yeah, anything else you want to add before we do it?
um, the tapping, and also it's really feeling like if you're feeling a pain in your body, it's there to tell you something. You shouldn't try and numb it and tell it to shut up by taking medications. No matter how many medicines you throw at it, it's still going to be there when the stuff weans off. So I found tapping to be very useful to me, and um, paying attention to the messages that your body's sending you, because it's there to tell you something. It's there to delivering a message to you if you would only listen.
Mm.
So,
I'm sure you've become very in tune with your intuition through all this. Yeah.
yes, yes. And actually, while I was doing the juice cleanse that I did, I received a message telling me that I was breaking, by doing that juice cleanse, that I was breaking indoctrinations.
Wow.
And I didn't know how I was breaking indoctrinations, but I just kept true to what the calling was that I felt in my heart. And this is why I'm choosing to share this with you, is, in hopes that this could help somebody else who's suffering the same situation that I was suffering.
Yeah. I mean, these are tools that so many people don't know, and a lot of people go to food or sex or social media scrolling or suicide or so many things. And there's tools, like you said, like doing a juice cleanse, changing your diet, putting your feet in the grass, doing emotional freedom technique, meditation, all of these things, because
Yes.
it's this suffering that we're experiencing is not talked about very often, and people like to put on this persona, especially on social media, that everything's great, we're fine, we're happy, but nobody really talks about the dark side of their life.
Yeah.
They don't want to admit that life is hard sometimes, and we feel pain. And I've been going through something very traumatic with my family, and it's been really hard. I'm not gonna lie, I've been really depressed these past couple weeks, so I've had to utilize a lot of tools. And my mental health just hasn't been you know at its peak, at its highest. So Wanda has been doing these tapping sessions in my group, and I just have to say, I've never done this before, but she's so, her energy is just so calm and safe, and I just feel like when she's doing these sessions in the group, I just feel like I'm so calm, and my nervous system feels so relaxed, and it's really been helping me a lot. So, and food cravings, what we're going to do the tapping session on is food cravings. You all know, I talk about it all the time. I suffer with, I've suffered with food addiction and binge eating disorder. I have never been diagnosed, but I'm going to diagnose myself because I've been struggling with it for 20 something
Same
years.
here. Same
Yeah,
here.
binge eating, like even now, even as a plant-based, whole food plant-based vegan, eating high raw, I still binge when I'm feeling stressed and negative emotions, or, just a lot of intense pain. I'm a highly sensitive person, so I'm empathic. I feel like I'm a very sensitive, energetic being. So for me, life can get very, very intense. So
Yes.
yeah, so that's why, the cravings, a lot of us deal with these cravings because the emotions are just so overwhelming at times. And food is our biggest drug. It is such a drug. So we crave these things that numb us or push what we're feeling down, so that we don't have to feel it, or we don't have to sit with it. But Wanda is saying that this is a tool that we can use that can help us through to, keep us sane, really. Don't go crazy over there.
Yes. Hang on one
Can
second.
can I use the bathroom really quick? Because I've drank all this water. Okay, stay tuned, everybody. I will be right back. Wanda, stay
Okay.
there.
Okay.
You can talk to them for a second if you want, if anybody's on still on.
Yeah. So, um, EFT is something that really helped me to let go of negative emotions and put myself in focus again so that I could focus on the mission that was put before me that I had already agreed to do, and I was not about to turn back on that decision. And it has continued to help me to stay strong and stay on the path that I was inspired to go on, not to give up. So let me share with you a sample EFT that can help with food cravings or any type of other issue that you may be dealing with. Perhaps you're dealing with stress that's leading to you wanting to overeat or eat the wrong things. Let's do a tapping session just to calm ourselves and get into a better state so that you can make a better decision for yourself once we're done with this tapping session.
And this is like a template. You can use the same template, but you can use it for different topics. So just
Yes.
quickly go over so they know the different touch points, and
So
then, yeah.
the first one is the side of the hand, tapping on the side of the hand, and basically just saying what you're going through. Like, even though I'm having this craving, I love and accept myself anyways. And you're just basically telling yourself that you accept that you have the craving. Just acknowledging it will sometimes help the energy to shift. So you're acknowledging the issue, basically, tapping on the side of the hand. And then the next point is the top of the head. The next point is between the eyes, side of the eye, underneath the eye, underneath your nose, underneath your lips, on the chin, the chest area, like right underneath the collarbone, and about an inch underneath your armpit. And those are the points. And then you start again at the top of the head. So if you're having a food craving, let's start on the side of the hand. Start all over. So, side of the hand, even though I'm having this food craving, I love and accept myself anyways. Even though I'm having this food craving, I love and honor myself. Even though I'm having this food craving, I love and accept myself anyways. And top of the head, all this craving, all this craving for things that are not in alignment with me, that may not be in my best interest, that may not treat my body like the temple that it is. Where are these cravings coming from? What's behind these cravings? Allowing myself to know what's behind the craving. What's the core issue to why I'm craving this food? If it's in my experience, it has to be there for a reason. Perhaps I'm just needing something sweet or something salty. Allowing myself to know what it is that is missing here. Allowing myself to know how I can move through this easily. Allowing myself to know how I can move through this and with more ease and grace. Hmm. Could it be that this craving that I'm having has nothing to do with food? Could this craving just be the need to maybe go out for a walk or ground myself? Allowing myself to know what else I can do that will help this craving. How else can I fill this need? How else can I fill this emptiness? Allowing myself to know that this could be easy. Allowing myself to know that I can move past this. I can overcome this craving because I choose to do what is best for my body. I choose to make healthy choices for myself. I choose to put healthy food in my body. I choose hydrating foods for my body. I choose foods that love me back. I choose foods that treat my body well. It feels good to know that I have choices. I have an infinity of healthy choices. I don't need to choose unhealthy foods. I make healthy choices for myself. Letting myself know that I have the freedom to make good choices for myself. That I have the freedom to make healthy choices for myself that respect my body. Letting myself know that I have the power. The power is in my choices. The choices that I make today create my tomorrow. What I choose to put in my mouth today will create my tomorrow. How I feel tomorrow is dependent on the foods that I choose today. And so I have the power I have all the power that I need to make powerful choices for myself. I am in control of my emotions. I am in control of what I put in my mouth. I am in control of what I choose to believe is food adequate for me. I am fully in control. It feels good to know that I am in control and I have the power to make healthy choices for myself. I feel peace with that. This is where the peace lies. It's in these choices, these everyday choices, that give me the power to make these choices over and over again. With every day, in every way, I'm making better choices for myself. I'm feeling more empowered. I forgive myself for thinking that I had to give in to food cravings. I have so many healthy choices. I choose to abide in peace with healthy choices for myself. I choose healthy foods for myself. I choose to stay true to my values. I choose to stay true with what I feel I'm in alignment with. And I feel in alignment with healthy food choices. And that is what I choose. And that feels freeing in my body. I'm freeing myself from being a slave to bad choices and bad foods. I'm freeing myself with each decision that I make about what to put in my body. Each time I choose a food, I'm choosing healthy foods that bring me closer to freedom. Healthy foods create freedom for my life. I'm aligning with the foods that feel best in my body. I'm aligning with healthy choices for myself. And that feels peaceful to me. I'm not a slave to unhealthy foods. I'm not a slave to food cravings. I am not your slave, food cravings. I serve my body well because the power is in me. And I choose to have peace with that. Peace. Anchoring in peace. Take a deep breath and let go of those food cravings. You are free. Freedom feels good.
Thank you, Wanda, for sharing your energy and your gifts and your wisdom. honestly just really appreciate it. And is there any last thoughts that you want to share?
Um, yeah, just whatever you're inspired to do, um, you can do it. If any inkling of what I've said resonates with you, don't have any doubts in your mind. You can do it. It is possible for you. It is possible to change your life, and it is possible where there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely. And Wanda is available for private one-on-one coaching if anybody, would like to reach out to her, if you would want to book a call with her and, have some sort of consultation or something. She can help you through your journey of your transitioning to raw or trying to improve your health. And also, what was I going to say? Oh, and the tapping too. If you want guidance with EFT tapping, she can help you with that as well. So, Wanda, what's your handle?
So,
Well, they'll be able to find it. I'll put it in the bio, but
yeah, on Instagram is Wanda Loves Raw. Very simple.
Wanda Loves Raw. Okay, great. So you can find her at Wanda Loves Raw. Go ahead and follow her. And if you are interested in, raw vegan private coaching or EFT tapping, for one-on-one for that, she can help you with that. So thank you so much, Wanda, for sharing your time with me
You're
today and with everybody
welcome,
else.
Jamie. You're welcome.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for everyone for tuning in and watching the replay. Hope you have an amazing day. And yeah, we're coming up to the end of October, so we're heading into the indoctrination time of holidays, right? Stay strong. And you guys can come back to this recording and you can rewatch this tapping session for food cravings. I think I might also cut it out and create a separate video, and I'll post that so that people can just do the tapping session without having to every time, so they can rewatch it whenever they need it. Okay?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All
I'm
right.
here.
Well, thank
I'm here to
you.
serve.
Yes, you have so much to offer, honestly. You really do. You have gone through so much, and your wisdom and experience can really help somebody. I truly believe that. It's already been inspiring and helping me. So
Thank you.
thank you. All right. Well, until next time, see you, and I'll see you on the Ageless Beauty call. Oh, and if anybody is interested in my Ageless Beauty private membership community, send me a message with the word promise, and I'll send you the link to join the Facebook group. So would love to have you in there. It's just women only right now. So it's just us ladies.
It's an
Yeah.
amazing community, very supportive, very loving people there.
Thank you. Someone said, thank you for sharing your story. See, your story is inspiring, Wanda. It's very inspiring. Yay.
I'm glad
Okay.
I'm inspired.
Of course. I know. Okay. See you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.